This is not just another UFC event. This is history in the making. The octagon under the lights of power, legacy, and global attention. The UFC White House 2026 card represents a moment where sport, culture, and combat collide on a scale never seen before. Legends return. Champions rise, and dream matchups finally feel real, from Jon Jones facing the most dangerous striker of his era, to Conor McGregor stepping back into the spotlight. Every fight carries consequences beyond belts and rankings. This night is about dominance, redemption, and defining greatness in front of the entire world. When the cage door closes on the South Lawn, excuses disappear and only truth remains. Styles will clash, legacies will be tested, and history will be rewritten punch by punch, takedown by takedown, submission by submission. This is not hype. This is the future of the UFC unfolding in real time. And once it begins, there is no turning back. Match 1. Jon Jones vs. Alex Pereira. The proposed super fight narrative continues to dominate MMA discussion, as the idea of Jon Jones returning from retirement to face Alex Pereira feels larger than a normal title fight. It represents a collision of eras, styles, and legacies. Jones is widely regarded as one of the greatest mixed martial artists ever, undefeated in the cage for most of his career and successful across multiple divisions, while Pereira has risen as a destructive force at light heavyweight, capturing gold through precision striking and terrifying knockout power. Fans view this matchup as a pure contrast of mastery, with Jones' elite wrestling, control, and fight IQ against Pereira's explosive kicks, timing, and one-shot finishing ability, making it one of the most intriguing hypothetical fights in modern UFC history. Jon Jones carries unmatched star power that could headline a historic White House card. His name alone brings global attention, controversy, and prestige. Alex Pereira, on the other hand, enters this narrative with momentum, confidence, and a hunger for legacy-defining bouts, having publicly called for the super fight and expressed willingness to test himself against the greatest. Analysts and fighters alike have broken down how the matchup could unfold, debating whether Jones' grappling dominance could neutralize Pereira's striking, or whether Pereira's power could end the fight before wrestling becomes a factor. Yet despite the hype, the UFC has not officially confirmed the bout, and Dana White has remained cautious in his comments. As 2026 approaches, Jones vs. Pereira continues to exist in the space between dream and reality. Media figures and influential voices like Joe Rogan have pushed for the fight to happen, with special stakes attached, possibly for legacy belts or symbolic titles, highlighting how significant the matchup would be for the sport. But concerns around Jones' availability, past withdrawals, and logistical planning keep the fight unannounced. For now, this super fight lives on anticipation, imagination, and fan demand, representing everything that makes MMA compelling: uncertainty, danger, and the pursuit of greatness on the biggest possible stage. Match 2. Max Holloway vs. Charles Oliveira. The lightweight rematch and beyond stakes surrounding Max Holloway vs. Charles Oliveira make this one of the most anticipated confirmed fights of 2026. Officially scheduled as the main event of UFC 326 on March 7, 2026 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, this bout places the symbolic BMF title on the line, adding an extra layer of intensity and pride. Holloway enters as a former featherweight champion known for relentless pressure, elite volume striking, and unmatched cardio, while Oliveira stands as one of the most dangerous finishers in UFC history. A former lightweight champion whose submission arsenal has ended fights in an instant. Together, they form a matchup built for violence, pace, and constant momentum shifts. The origin of this rematch traces back to their earlier encounter, which ended abruptly due to an injury stoppage in Holloway's favor, leaving fans unsatisfied and debates unresolved. The brief nature of that fight sparked years of discussion about how the contest would unfold over full rounds. With Holloway's non-stop boxing combinations and forward movement contrasted against Oliveira's slick grappling, clinch control, and opportunistic finishing instincts, analysts have long argued whether Holloway could maintain range and pressure without being dragged into dangerous submission exchanges, or if Oliveira's creativity on the ground and in scrambles would eventually turn the tide, making the demand for a rematch impossible to ignore. Now officially booked, Holloway vs Oliveira serves as a defining moment for both fighters' legacies. Beyond rankings or belts, the BMF title represents toughness, durability, and the willingness to engage in war, values both men embody throughout their careers. A victory here strengthens Holloway's case as one of the most complete strikers in MMA history, while a win for Oliveira reinforces his status as one of the most feared submission specialists ever to compete in the UFC, regardless of its placement on future cards. This rematch stands as a cornerstone of the UFC's 2026 storyline, promising action, emotion, and legacy-shaping consequences. Match 3. Ilia Topuria vs Islam Makhachev. The potential pound-for-pound clash between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev stands as one of the most talked-about hypothetical fights heading into 2026, capturing the imagination of fans, analysts, and fighters alike. This matchup represents dominance meeting dominance, with both men ruling their respective divisions and climbing the P4P rankings through consistency and decisive performances. Topuria enters the discussion as the undefeated lightweight champion, known for explosive power, sharp boxing, and ruthless finishing instincts, while Makhachev has redefined greatness after moving up to welterweight and capturing gold through suffocating pressure, elite wrestling, and calculated control. Together they symbolize the highest level of modern MMA excellence. The narrative gains strength from both fighters' trajectories. Topuria's flawless rise has been marked by confidence, knockout power, and a belief that he can defeat anyone across divisions. Makhachev's run, on the other hand, is built on efficiency, discipline, and a system that breaks opponents. Mentally and physically, reports suggest Topuria has openly expressed interest in facing Makhachev, seeing the fight as a legacy-defining challenge, while Makhachev has acknowledged that he would consider such a bout if the conditions align. This mutual awareness keeps speculation alive across MMA media and fan communities, even as official sources caution that scheduling, weight considerations, and title obligations may delay or prevent the matchup in 2026. At its core, Topuria vs Makhachev represents a generational collision of styles and philosophies. The aggressive, powerful champion seeking to impose his will versus the calm, methodical tactician who thrives on control and precision. Debates rage over whether Topuria's striking and power could overwhelm Makhachev before grappling takes over, or if Makhachev's wrestling and positional dominance would neutralize the danger. Until the UFC confirms plans, this fight remains aspirational rather than official, but its presence alone shapes conversations about greatness, legacy, and what truly defines the best fighter in the world. Match 4. Conor McGregor vs Michael Chandler. The comeback and rivalry story surrounding Conor McGregor vs Michael Chandler has grown into one of the strongest narratives connected to the rumored UFC White House card in June 2026. Fueled by public comments, fan speculation, and Chandler's own confident teasing, the idea of this fight feels more tangible than many others. Even though official confirmation from the UFC is still pending, McGregor's return after years away from competition carries massive attention, while Chandler sees this matchup as a chance for redemption and validation after falling short in recent high-profile bouts, together creating a storyline built on timing, opportunity, and unfinished business. McGregor has not fought since suffering a serious injury in 2021, yet his presence continues to dominate MMA conversation. He has repeatedly stated that his comeback must involve a meaningful opponent and a major stage, often naming Chandler as the man waiting across from him. Chandler, in turn, has embraced the role, openly calling out McGregor and framing the fight as a patriotic spectacle tied to the White House setting. His red, white, and blue comments highlight how both fighters are active. Eli selling the narrative, making the bout feel increasingly realistic even without official booking. Fans now debate whether McGregor's sharp counter-striking and timing can withstand Chandler's relentless pace, wrestling pressure, and explosive power. Beyond rankings or title implications, McGregor vs Chandler represents emotion, identity, and legacy. McGregor embodies global stardom, charisma, and the return of a once-dominant icon, while Chandler represents grit, toughness, and the pursuit of respect through action. This clash speaks to different eras of the sport colliding, And regardless of where it ultimately lands on the 2026 calendar, the matchup remains one of the most anticipated comebacks and rivalries in UFC history, driven by hype. When the final bell sounds and the lights fade, UFC White House 2026 will not be remembered as just an event. It will be remembered as a turning point, a night where icons proved they still belong, champions showed why they rule, and the next era of MMA announced itself without mercy. Wins will define legacies, losses will rewrite careers, and the echoes of this card will shape the UFC for years to come. History favors the bold, and on this night only the fearless survive. No judges can measure legacy, no statistics can capture greatness, only moments matter. And these moments will live forever. If you love real combat, real stakes, and real history, this is the night you cannot miss. Because once it's over, the UFC will never be the same again.